World of Warcraft gets a surprise Battle Royale. Overwatch 2 hands out its heroes for free, and the AI NPCs capable of full conversations. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is Jinx News. When you're an MMORPG that's nearly 20 years old, there's really no harm in trying to mix things up. Cue Plunderstorm, the new Battle Royale built within World of Warcraft. It's delightfully pirate themed, and its recipe is all too familiar. You drop onto the map, find abilities and upgrades, and attempt to be the last person standing. And it's important to say you're not using any of your beloved WoW characters here. Each game starts fresh with a simplified action bar and just 2 starting abilities, a basic melee attack and a channeled healing spell. There's no classes or anything. Instead, you roam around discovering and picking up various skills. You can hold up to 2 offensive and 2 utility abilities, and you'll find them at different rarities, with the purple ones being the most powerful. Each game lasts around 15 minutes, and there'll be 60 of you competing all at the same time, though you can drop in alone or with a buddy. Does it feel like they're jumping on the Battle Royale train a little late? Yes it does. But I think it's a great thing for World of Warcraft. They've experimented with other genres in the past, such as with Torghast in Shadowlands, which was a roguelike dungeon for everyone to blast through, that had a lot of potential to be fun, but Blizzard made the fatal mistake of intrinsically tying it to your character's progression. Suddenly the priority was about how they could use it as part of the gear grind, as opposed to just making a game mode that's as fun as possible. And it seems they've corrected that here with Plunderstorm. The Dragonflight expansion has been out for a while now, and this just offers something fresh for players to sink their teeth into. There's still a battle pass to work through with cosmetics, pets and mounts to earn for your normal WoW characters, but ultimately it's just a cool addition. You do need an active subscription or game time to play, and it is only available for a limited time. But I'm curious, what do you think? Are you keen to give it a go? And should Blizzard spend time making more experimental modes like this, or should they just use these resources for the actual game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We're staying on the Blizzard train as Overwatch 2 is now giving out its heroes for free. Since its early access launch in 2022, a load of the heroes, new and old, were locked behind its battle pass. And while it was possible to unlock the full roster without paying a dime, it took a painfully long time. Plus, there's a pay-to-win debate here, because those who just flat-out pay for their heroes not only have a more versatile roster of characters to pick from, but they get plenty more time to perfect their playstyles. But thankfully, that's no more. Starting in Season 10, the entire roster will be unlocked for everyone, and that includes the next hero to join the ranks, Venture. Now, obviously there's some annoyance from players who have spent money on heroes over the last couple of years, especially as they've been told that there will be no reimbursement or anything of the likes. But ultimately, they won't have to spend any more money on future heroes, so I think it's a win all round. And despite this seemingly being the first positively received developer update in the game's entire history, there are some fears in regards to PvE content. In the new play menu, the story missions have been relegated to a little box all the way off to the side. There was uproar last year when the PvE mode that kind of justified the sequel's entire existence was just cancelled. And since release, we've only had 1 batch of story missions and radio silence in regards to any more. In fact, former devs have now spoken out saying they're worried that all of their hard work on new story missions has also been cancelled. Either way, as someone who's still yet to touch Overwatch 2 despite sinking a good few hours into the first, this might just tempt me to finally give it a go. Let me know if you do feel the same. AI video games are here, everyone. And what you've just heard is the collective groan of everyone in the games industry. With the Game Developers Conference going on right now in San Francisco, developers are keen to show off their latest technological innovations. And of course, AI is high on the agenda. And that includes Ubisoft, who hosted a private demo where several reporters were invited to interact with their new Neo NPCs. Sadly, they weren't characters who were based on Keanu Reeves in the early 2000s, but instead characters who players can talk to in-game, who will then adapt to what you say in real time. The company calls the project its first player-facing generative AI prototype that could transform the way players interact with non-playable characters in video games and open new frontiers for gameplay that natively integrates generative AI features. And man, I really don't want to go to dinner with whoever wrote that. Sadly, there's no footage currently available, with only a few still images for us to go on. Clearly, Ubisoft aren't confident enough yet with this idea to actually show it to people, so we'll just have to imagine the conversations that could happen for ourselves. But they're not the only ones in on the act. Everyone's favorite game engine developer Unity are teaming up with an AI company to release a demo showcasing AI NPCs. It's called Project Neural Nexus and it will be released later this year. We actually have footage for this as well, depicting a cyberpunk setting with several characters who are seemingly talking to you completely of their own accord. Conversations are said to be endless as the storylines will fit around how you act and respond, which all sounds great until you actually hear these characters. Just take a listen for yourselves.
Tell me what the gangs are working on.
That's privileged information, and you ain't on the list of people I share that with. So how about you mind your own business?
I've heard more passionate voice performances over the tannoy on the bus. Look, I've accepted that AI is here and execs are going to try and make it work in all forms of media. And in principle, the idea of NPCs with infinite dialogue that react to your in-game behavior sounds amazing. But ironically, it actually sounds terrible. AI voices always sound uncanny, weird, and lifeless, which is funny because, you know, that's exactly what they are. If you try and tell me you can't hear the difference, I just think you're not being honest with yourself. And remember, every AI voice performance is another job lost for an actual voice actor who can do the job well. But let's wait and see. No word on exactly when or even if we'll actually get our hands on these AI tech demos, but if these AI NPCs don't improve, we might just have another final situation on our hands.
That's a wrap for now, and even though the battle was virtual, our contestants' newfound fame is real.
And that's the show. Please like and subscribe so I can justify not being replaced by AI. Check out yesterday's news somewhere around here, and we'll see you tomorrow.